I'm Elizabeth Walker, and today we're going to be talking about the story of Rahab. I'm actually going to read you the story from the Jesus Calling Bible storybook, and it can also be found in Joshua chapter 2 and 6 in the Bible. So this says, Joshua and the walls of Jericho. In the promised land was the great city of Jericho. Joshua, the new leader of the Israelites, sent 2 men to spy on Jericho to figure out how they could take over the city. Do they need a great battle? Would swords and spears work? Maybe a sneaky invasion. The spies hid in the house of a woman named Rahab. When Jericho's king heard they were there, he sent messengers to Rahab's place. Send those spies outside, the men demanded. But Rahab said, they have already left. Run, you might catch them. The messengers went away to find the spies. The spies were on Rahab's roof, hiding under a pile of grain. I heard that God gave you Jericho, Rahab said. The people are afraid of your God and worry that a big fight will happen here. I've helped you, so will you help me? Promise that God will keep me and my family safe. After the spies promised, Rahab used a bright red rope to help them climb to the ground. When the big fight comes, stay inside with your family, the spies said. Tie this red rope to your window and you will be safe. So that is what Rahab did. And the story goes on, the Battle of Jericho happens, and then at the end it says, remember Rahab? She and her family were safe during the big Battle of Jericho. She became the great-great-grandma of King David and Jesus, who would be born from her family line too. Rahab is known for being a woman who didn't always make the best choices. She was actually known in the Bible for her greatest sin, But God decided to use her story anyways, and she eventually becomes the great-great-grandmother of King David, who eventually leads to the lineage of Jesus. So God can use anyone in his story. And Rahab also shows her faith throughout the story. She proclaims to the spies that their God is the one true God, and she believes in their God, even though everyone around her doesn't. And so because of that, God rewards her obedience and faithfulness and saves her and her family when the Battle of Jericho is fought. Actually, today, some scholars believe that Rahab's house is still standing in the city of Jericho. So after the battle was fought and everything turned to rubble, Rahab's house was still standing in the end. So don't forget that God always can use anyone in his story. Join us tomorrow as we talk about Ruth and Boaz. Boaz is Rahab's son, and see how the lineage of Jesus unfolds in this story.